Welcome to episode 11 of Gears League and Xbox Podcast. I am, as always, your host, Tyler Bello. And so, yeah, hope you guys had a great Christmas. I definitely did. It feels like it's, feels like, I don't know, this time I feel like it went by kind of quickly. At the same time, I feel like everyone says that just because when you go back to work after your holiday break, it feels like it was never enough when you have to go back to work. But yeah, it was a nice break. I hope hope all of you had good holidays. I had visited more family than I think I've ever had in my life this Christmas. It was mainly on my girlfriend's side of things, but yeah, saw a lot of family. It was a lot of fun. Very glad that I went, and glad how it turned out. I got a Switch Lite for Christmas, which is awesome. My girlfriend got me a Switch Lite, so I've been playing Pokemon Shield again. Kind of got me reinvigorated to go back on some shiny Pokemon hunts. So that's been going pretty well. Other than that, believe it or not, I've been playing. I think I already talked about this in the last episode. I've been playing Borderlands 2, still, and man, that game is a lot of fun. It sucks that it kind of took me 8 years to get to this game, but it is a lot of fun. I am enjoying every minute of it, and the more I play it, the more I like it. So it's definitely grown on me. I have a lot more respect for it than I did the first one. Again, I don't know if I think the problem I had with the first one, I just felt like I was just continuously doing tasks, even though it's really what you're doing in every single game. But I really just felt it in Borderlands 1, where you go to a mission board, you accept all the missions, you do all the missions, you turn them in. I don't know. And like this one, I kind of like that there's something where like you see quests on the map and you can pick up quests, from other people in the town. I liked that. I thought that was, I don't know, just something about it that it feels like a real RPG versus the first Borderlands, So still enjoying my time with that. Yeah, still enjoying my time with Pokemon. So, but yes, this is going to be a shorter episode again. I bet you guys probably expected that just because there is no news. There's really nothing for me to talk about in the news at all. I looked a couple times. No real articles happening, which again makes sense since it's December and it's a wasteland it's a kind of a barren wasteland of game releases, and it's pretty much the same way for it's the same way for basically game news too. So probably just gonna get right into the topic, and that's going to be a wrap for this week. So the topic I want to talk about is the next generation of gaming, and if games are going anywhere, basically. If we're really advancing at all, or if we're kind of stagnant. And what kind of got me thinking about that is me playing Borderlands 2 versus playing Sekiro earlier this year versus seeing some of the trailers for these new games like Hellblade 2 and all that. I feel like, and this is probably the case usually with most things, but games rapidly developed and grew. Obviously when they first came out, went from 8-bit to 16-bit, and then just kind of kept going up from there. Obviously games are just massively going up and up the scale, what they can do. But now I kind of feel like we've hit a point where we know essentially what a video game is, and these next-gen consoles and these bigger and better PCs that you get, really the only thing they can do is just give you better of the same, which isn't a bad thing. It just kind of disappointing as far as what we could maybe I feel like when you were a kid, you'd sit there and you'd think to yourself like, can you imagine what games are going to look like, and you just pretend that they'd be all like this, I mean, you kind of imagine them being like photorealistic and stuff like that. But I mean, well, we're pretty much there already. Like there was that article I read that basically compared like a Forza track to like a real life track, and basically saying how like Forza graphics are better than real life. And I thought that was really funny, but it's kind of true. We're kind of at photorealism, we've kind of been there for a while. But I don't know. It's kind of like, it kind of leaves me to think, where are we heading? Because basically we're at photorealism. Games, RPGs are amazing. but really the way they evolve now is you have a longer RPG. You've got more quests. You've got a denser RPG. They're bigger and longer. There's not. It's not. I feel like people were expecting the big jump to come from VR, and for a while, I guess it did a little bit, but it seemed like it largely ended up being a gimmick because one, people don't want to move. There's not a lot of options as far as setting up places. People don't live in these lavish mansions where they can just dedicate a room to gaming, and even if you kind of use it, what I kind of use it for is just to look around, so you can have the ability to just where you can have the VR helmet and then sit still, and that's kind of nice. But at the point, it's who cares? Who cares if you got a 360-degree view? It seemed like a kind of a passing fad, and I feel like it's gonna maybe pick up again once the barrier to entry lowers and maybe there's more to it. But at the same time, it's kind of I feel like largely, at least at this point in time, at least in end of 2019, VR is kind of a dud. So that's kind of where I land with that. Again, I guess I just got to thinking of when the 360 and PS3 were coming out, you got to be excited about, because you were thinking oh my god, what are games going to look like now? With Xbox One and PS4, there wasn't quite the same wonder and awe. It was mainly just what it was. It was. I guess there was a little bit. There was a little bit of I can only imagine how big games are going to be. But now going into Xbox Series X and PS5, it's kind of what are we really gonna be able to do that we can't already? I'm excited for faster load times. I think that'll be awesome. But what are we really doing? And maybe I'll be proven wrong, and 5 years from now we'll be doing these amazing things with games that I couldn't see coming. But I feel like it's gonna be more of the same, and I'm sure the quality's gonna keep improving. But at the same time, it's kind of the more it just feels like another generation, and being on PC, there's really not that, it doesn't really feel like a new generation. It's just more of the same. I'm definitely going to obviously probably get an Xbox Series X just so I can speak more about the console, especially with this being a Xbox podcast. But I don't feel the same excitement this time around, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It just is something that I noticed. It's just with the next gen console, how excited are you really to not have a lot of games? I guess the problem is basically solved because backwards compatibility, so there's something to that. But how excited are you really going to be for I don't know, a bigger Skyrim? Okay, actually that sounds amazing, but still, basically what's going to be the new thing that changes the game? That's kind of the question. And I feel I kind of just feel we've stagnated a little bit as an industry, which kind of is unfortunate. And I don't know. I feel like it's something that is gonna leave some people burnt out with gaming kind of in general. Just because after you play so many games day in and day out, and there's nothing new, eventually I feel like you start to lose the fire. So. Otherwise, that really is it. I'm sorry there's no news, but hopefully next week I can blow your mind away with new details. So, otherwise, that's it. Take care. Appreciate you listening. See ya. Oh, almost forgot to advertise myself. My bad. Yes, of course, Gears League can be found on YouTube or any podcast services of your choice, as well as Twitch. My Twitch channel is twitch.tv/TOPOLEADK. You can watch me play more Borderlands 2. Otherwise, till then, take care.